Despite many baseless threats, the Biden administration won't sanction the IDF units that was caught committing human rights violations and mass atrocities in the West Bank. 2022 and 2023 were the deadliest years recorded in decades for Palestinians in the West Bank due to IDF terrorist violence. So the Biden administration, desperate for a PR victory, announced that they would be sanctioning these terrorist IDF units that committed atrocities in the West Bank. And Israel wasn't happy about that. So the Biden administration was strictly told by their Israeli masters that their plan is unacceptable. So after being scolded by their master Netanyahu and Israeli war criminals, you had the Biden administration that decided not to sanction the IDF unit committing atrocities in the West Bank. So do you guys know by doing this, Joe Biden is breaking international law and Leahy's law, which is on the books in this country, where we are not allowed to provide arms to regimes that we know are committing human rights violations. I always mention this because I cannot stress enough, as the ruling class sick the police state on us for protesting them, that the same ruling class are actually criminals who are breaking the law. So the stated reason why the Biden administration is breaking the law and continuing to arm and fund these terrorist IDF units is because Israel gave Biden assurances that they are taking steps to address the issue. Literally no one believes this. Biden doesn't even believe this. He's performing his primary objective, enabling Israeli terrorism.
What's poppin'? What's poppin', my friends, my family? We are here for a special Nick at Noon on Sunday. We didn't do Saturday this week, but I had to pop in today. I guess you can say I'm filling in for my boy JB today. So we got Nick at Noon on Sunday. I was watching because apparently I got nothing better to do in my life right now. Apparently this profession broke my brain to the point where I'm watching the White House Correspondents Dinner now. That's how low this profession has sunk me. That's how low I've fallen. But I think it was very important for me to cover it because we are witnessing a historic amount of psychosis right now. I watched the White House Correspondents Dinner last night, and it is the most blatant display of what happens when an empire completely loses their mind. As I just explained in my video here, my hotspot video, big shout out to my homies at Hotspot. As I explained, Joe Biden is a criminal. Right now, you have a bunch of fascists that are upset because young people are protesting the genocide that our taxpayer money and our government supports. So what a lot of these fascists are saying, I'm going to show you guys an example of CNN posting what can only be described as pro-fascist propaganda, where they advocating mass arrests of students and even faculty members who are protesting. You know why they do? You know why they say that we need to implement fascism in the United States? You know why you have older boomers that are cheering on state violence towards younger people? Because what they say is, technically, what these protesters are doing is against the law. So we are dissidents who are opposing our government's criminal genocide. In the response of white America, and I'm not just talking about Fox News, my friends. I'm talking about liberal media. I'm going to show you guys a segment from CNN that I tweeted about last night. That's straight up pro-fascist propaganda. And you guys think I'm exaggerating? Wait till you see the clip. So right now we have the liberal wing and the conservative wing of the dominant political factions of the United States unapologetically calling for fascism, the mass arrests and punishment, the economic retaliations of anyone who opposes United States foreign policy. And they do it based on the grounds that the people opposing genocide, the tactics they are doing is illegal. Jim Crow was law in this land. The genocide of Native Americans was law in this land. So many Americans are quoting the fact that governments make laws as if law equals morality. So many people are so brainwashed, they think law equals morality. Do you understand how many evil, crazy laws that like the monarch in England, the monarchy in France implemented? The people who believe that the law of the land is morality, they are wagging their finger at people who are standing for international law. So the same people who wants to implement fascism and stop people from protesting under the grounds that they are breaking the law of like public fucking zoning, some bullshit law where the government tells us where we protest, those same people are covering for a criminal. And I'm not exaggerating. The Biden administration knows. That's why they won't say it publicly. But they know Israel is committing mass human rights violations. That's why Biden said that Israel is bombing indiscriminately. You guys are knowingly providing weapons to a country that's committing genocide, that is using starvation as a tool of war. And then they turn around and pretend they are for law and order when people protest the government. You understand how crazy white America, like this mainstream America mentality. And I'm gonna show you these white liberals, these white conservatives, they keep going on Fox News, keep going on CNN and say, we need to lock all these protesters up. They need to be fired, retaliated against. So what is the recourse for a population if the government becomes a criminal government like our government is? And that's not me being a radical, that's me quoting international law. So if I quote international law and our government, our ruling classes is a bandits of criminals, what can we do? Can we take up arms and do what I recommend? Well, we need a revolution and match the energy of our violent ruling class? That's what I propose, unapologetically, which is why I don't condemn Hamas. I am a supporter of revolution against these criminal, violent, genocidal scumbags in the ruling class. But let's say you disagree with me. Let's say you're to my right, including many of the people I agree with on these issues. You're to my right, and you be like, oh, Nick, we can't have revolution. We can't do that. That's too mean. So what is the other recourse that we have? Protesting. We can protest the government if you are not for stuff that's actually effective. Like taking up arms. It's a side hustle. It's something you do to help prepare for the revolution. So according to the ruling class, violence, revolution, intifada, completely off the table. So they're like, oh, well, you can demonstrate. Then students start demonstrating, and then the police bust their heads in. You had tear gas that's being deployed. Do you guys know that tear gas is a war crime? Using tear gas in war is considered a war crime. It has long-term effects and it damages the central nervous system. I showed you guys the report on how police in America have been lying to people about decades regarding tear gas. Oh, no, not a big deal. What are you talking about? There are people with asthma that you can kill with tear gas. There are pregnant women that was having miscarriages in mass during the George Floyd protest because of tear gas. On top of the other complications, I'm not a fucking doctor, on top of the other complications, but for years, they told you that tear gas is cool to use, even though it's considered a goddamn war crime. So we protest, we do the recommended action of the professional managerial class. The professional managerial class love protest. That means they can take selfies, they can put it on Instagram, they can put it on Facebook, and they're no threat. So they actually do show up to a protest, and then they still get their ass beat. Now, that's how fascist our government is. And people justify it on the premise that they're breaking the law as they're protecting a criminal who is breaking United States law and international law, funding the genocidal monsters in Israel. And the amount of propaganda that we're living through right now, and I've been saying this for a while, and I'm glad that a lot of people agree with me. The corporate media right now is worse than it's ever been. I know people quit corporate media in the 2000s because of The Daily Show, Jon Stewart, all the people who first mocked the corporate media during my teenage years, and a lot of people mass quit the corporate media so people don't know how bad it is now. But bro, the corporate media is full-blown, unapologetically fascist, speaking out against protests. They are literally justifying collective punishment. How many propaganda statements have we seen on RBN where people are like, oh, what about October 7th? Because of October 7th, Israel can do whatever they want. You have people justifying collective punishment, using starvation as a tool of war. I've seen people on Fox News that are like, why should we send aid to Palestine? Why should we feed the enemy? Because not doing so is a fucking war crime, sir? So the propaganda that we are living through right now is going to be studied historically. I know people thought corporate media was bad 15 years ago, but we are living through historical bad shit right now. And I'm going to show you guys exactly what I mean here very soon. Hell, you guys saw it in the Correspondents Dinner. The Correspondents Dinner. I'm my brother in background. We couldn't believe the crazy shit they're saying. The fucking ball licking of Joe Biden, a genocidal maniac who, you guys just saw the hotspot, is continuing to send weapons to an IDF unit that was committing terrorist acts in the West Bank. You know where Hamas is not at? There is no Hamas in the West Bank. But Biden supports sending weapons to terrorist IDF units. And this is the president that is being praised on the White House Correspondents Dinner. And I see some of the MSNBC coverage of it because they have special coverage of it. Bro, if you want to talk, I've never ever want to see Americans ever talk about North Korea, China, any other state media ever again. And this is something that I have challenged on RBN since the beginning. Everything you've been told about your enemies is a projection. People, I explained this before, in China, people know that the news comes from the state. That makes them more informed because they understand where the sources is coming from. And despite what people say, like you guys know the BBC operates in Russia, like they actually get oppositional news. They have state media and they get a ton of news from other countries and stuff. So they're actually more well-informed because they know where the sources is. We have intelligence spooks. We have literally people from the press secretary like Jen Psaki who get an anchor job, literally Simone Sanders, people who worked in the Biden administration that sits at the desk, Rachel Maddow, all these propaganda for the Democrat Party, and the same thing goes for Fox News and Republicans, and people think they're getting real news. Guys, the MSNBC segments, and I obviously can't show it because I watched like an hour of it, when they was covering the press corps, the dinner was insanity. And during this dinner, you literally had the guy that said, oh my God, but the comedian that said, how could Biden be possibly losing against the poll against his candidate that has all these felony prosecutions? You have the press corps that is begging Americans to vote for Joe Biden. And people think they're getting real news in this country. So despite the fact that our country is not telling people what's going on, do you know what, you want to know what they're playing 24/7 around the clock in Chinese media and in Russian media? Oh man, Americans are the dumbest population on the planet. Because as Americans are worried about the NBA draft, you have the entire world watching what our government is doing and saying, holy shit, the United States lost its goddamn mind. So you understand that China, Russia, Africa, South America, and the entire world sees our government, our corporate media, and our politicians completely sicking the police state and brutalizing college kids right now. And it's not people that you can deem radicals. Guys, I said this before. I will continue to say this because it's an important point to make. These people are class traitors. They're arresting college professors, my friends. They're arresting students that go to Columbia. Who go to Columbia? Children of Congress people like Ilhan Omar, for example. Children of aristocrats. Children of the oligarchy. People see the police state being weaponized against them because they oppose genocide. Do you know everyone in the world is watching this shit like, holy shit? You want to know what they show? You want to know the only thing they talk about in Chinese social media right now? You guys see this fucking picture? Do you guys see this fucking picture? Bro, Chinese in Russia state media is having a fucking field day with this shit, as they should. Now, Carl Zoff, friend of the show, he's been on multiple times. I need to reach out to have him back on again. I think he's in China. He lives. I don't want to misspeak, but he's on China social media. That's why he's a good source. Following journalists outside of the United States, that's where you get all your information from. So this is an image that is circulating all over Chinese social media. And I'm sure that it's circulating all over social media in Africa, all over social media in South America. If you're only listening to this right now, I'll show you guys two back-to-back photos. I'll show you guys a picture of this white woman. Once again, it's fucked up, but this is another reason why they're screwed, because the world is seeing privileged white women getting arrested, protesting genocide. And I'm not saying she's privileged, I'm just making a point. So this is a white woman being brutally handcuffed, tears coming in her eyes red from the police, and you see the dramatization. This political cartoon of that white woman dressed as a Statue of Liberty with a single tear going down her eye as this fascist police force arrest her. Guys, these images they're just one of many, my friends. They are flying around the world right now. So as Americans, they fucking dumb. They're dumb, they're entertained, watching Netflix. Now you guys see why we're seeing the rise of BRICS. Now we're seeing why Africa is kicking the United States out of their country. Nigeria kicking them out of their countries. Why people are turning to China. Why the United States is losing influence. Guys, the myth is over. I explained before, it's very unfortunate, but post-World War II, the American propaganda machine was on fire. People really believed that America was here to defend freedoms, to defeat terrorists. Hell, I went back pretty far. You can say that even in the 90s. In the 90s, you had people that believed the United States was a force of anti-terrorism. During George W. Bush, you have all these people that believed this propaganda. And when I say that, I'm talking about people in the global South, Africa, South America, that signed up on the war on terror because a lot of the people in the world fell for the propaganda. So many people were just so happy that the UK empire is dead, that the UK is no longer the number one motherfuckers dictating the world. They're like, man, we're just happy that it's someone else. So for a long time, a lot of the global population fell for the American propagandas. That shit is done, my friend. I read his comment. I see a few comments. I'm way older than you, Nick. It was way before the 90s. Yeah, I hear you. You guys get my point, though. For a very long time, the world fell for the illusion of America because America before had competent empire managers. No matter what you say about Henry Kissinger and the others, and the other war criminals of America past, they knew how to manage an empire and do propaganda. You guys understand, the people that we have in charge right now are nepotism babies. Are people who sold out, people whose families sold out. They are not the best. You guys know they have a system where they wait their turn. Come on, man. You can't run for senator. You got to wait your turn. There's no fucking meritocracy in this country. We're witnessing the ruling class fumble a historic empire. Guys, the United States as an empire, as a country, we're what? Don't judge my math too much. Sorry. 250, 275 years old? It's hard to do math on the fly when you talk in front of a lot of people. I want to say, how old is the United States? Because I can't do math in high pressure. 246 years old. So the United States is 246 years old. And of that 246, we didn't become an empire and superpower until post-World War II. So of that 246, we are empire for around 70 to 80 years. Guys, that is fumbling the bag historically. You know how long the UK was an empire? Do you know how long Rome lasted? We at best have another 15, 20 years. And that's me being very lenient. And with a lot of you guys see that, me being very nice for them for saying that. Because I know some people would say we got maybe 5 years. We're gonna, by the end of the day, we're gonna be only 100-year empire, and by the at the end of the day, guys, that's fucking nothing in the scape of history because the ruling class fumbled this in historic way. So I'm gonna show you this video because we are getting historic images from yesterday. This is why I had to go live today because I have to show you guys this because I was about to go live yesterday, didn't work out that way, but I definitely had to give you guys Nick at New today because the images I am seeing, I'm gonna show you guys because the Palestinian resistance is on fire, man. It's so amazing to see this because the Palestinian resistance have decades to build up, and now it's fucking game time. You had this White House Correspondents Dinner. So these pro-Palestinian activists, actually, guys, I actually hate the term pro-Palestinian activists. I just fucked up and said it. I hate that term. It's anti-genocide protesters. There's nothing pro-Palestinian about just saying, hey, guys, stop bombing these people. I think you're pro-Palestinian if you're calling for a one-state solution. You're calling for the destruction of Israel. That's how I would take it. If you're just only calling for a ceasefire, you're not calling for justice for the Palestinians, you're not pro-Palestinian. That's like 70% of these protests. But hey, I take it, man. I'm not complaining. I'm just very particular about the language I use. So when I say pro-Palestinian protests, I fucked up. It's anti-genocide protests, fam. Anti-genocide. And guys, the establishment calls it pro-Palestine for a reason because they're trying to create us versus them. Oh, you're on the Palestine side. No, we are on the anti-colonial, anti-apartheid side. Like, what the fuck you mean pro-Palestinian? It's pro-humanity, anti-genocide, anti-apartheid. Don't get me wrong, I love my Palestinian brothers and sisters, but you guys understand why being precise with our language is very important, especially in this propaganda war? I am advocating and I am begging because the United States left have been a complete fucking failure over the last few decades to become more precise with our language. Why do you think we took so many L's over the years? Why do you think Americans are so brainwashed? Because the professional managerial class is sloppy with their language. I think Joe Biden is a decent person. No, he's a white supremacist war criminal. That's go back to the historic bit from George Carlin regarding soft language. Soft language is a tool of the oligarchy. It's the enemy of the proletariat in revolutionary language. We need to call these scum exactly what they are. And I don't give a fuck how many places I'm blacklisted from. I will wear my blacklist with fucking pride. Because they shield themselves with soft language. And we cannot abide by that. But I had this video for a while. So this goes back to my rant about them being sloppy. Because the pro-Palestinian protesters caught these people in these moments that's going viral, my friends. Virals. Because once again, the media is not showing you these images of the ruling class being shouted down by anti-genocide protesters. Them scuttering to their privileged event. Anyway, I'll shut the fuck up. I'm going to show you this video. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Shame on you! Shame on you!
Imagine being so soulless. And by the way, it doesn't help for the image of the United States and the image of Biden in this event that you have anti-genocide working class people calling out these people who are dressed like the fucking ruling class. Because the White House correspondent, when they all bring out the best shit, they bring out their best dresses. Know what I mean? Cream Jean-Pierre were looking like a snack. I'm just joking. I don't want to get canceled. Yeah, everyone looking like a snack. You got all these people looking rich as fuck. So guys, the optics for the United States couldn't be worse. It couldn't be worse. You have these people in tuxedos, $1,000 outfits as they quickly sprint by, head down in shame by the anti-genocide protesters. So let's continue watching.
Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you!
Dude, this is glorious. Look at this. This is what went viral. They put a huge Palestinian flag on the side of a venue. Guys, we are witnessing and we're living through historical shit right now, man. My revolutionary optimism is higher than ever. You guys saw me geeking out on Thursday. This shit is fucking glorious, my friends. The activation of America against Zionism. And I know there's sometimes we talk about a lot of negative shit, but we gotta bring revolutionary optimism in our coverage. This is fucking glorious, my friends. The panic from the ruling class is glorious. We are witnessing years of the Palestinian resistance being organized. Guys, remember, I covered this as a citizen journalist for about 3 years now. Followed it for about a decade. My entire adult life, I've been witnessing the Palestinian resistance grow, add more, become more technical, learn from their mistakes, add more to the ranks, and now we are at peak. We are at game time, and everyone is stepping the fuck up. I even told you there are people that I dislike, people who I don't like the framing, people who condemn Palestinian resistance, who I find annoying, but even they are kind of stepping up in a certain way with how more militant, like, so that's me throwing a bone at the people that are to my right. You know, like the Crystal Ball and Ryan Grimm, they doing good job covering by, even though, like, guys, I say that with a caveat because I don't like the word they use. I still think they're sloppy, but they are covering the crimes. So what we are seeing right now, we are seeing game time where even the professional managerial classes are on our side, the educators, the activists, everyone. We are hitting our stride right now. This is why I take what I do so fucking seriously, because I'm more on the education wing of this. I'm the journalist side of this. I'm gonna be covering some Palestinian protests here very soon. I think Dr. Joe Stein might be at the University of Kansas. I think I'm gonna drive by down there. That's only 45 minutes away. So I'm gonna say hi to Dr. Joe Stein and give some one-on-one interviews. I'm gonna see if I can pull that off. I'm kind of scared because you guys know my tags are bad. But I'm gonna try to take that trip. So right now, everyone in the movement have their job. Everyone have their role. We can't be overwhelmed about the enemy as long as everyone does their fucking job. Don't be overwhelmed. Like, what can I do? No, you show up. You provide material support, especially if you're a class trader. If you have the following and platform like I do, I'm not bragging. I'm just saying, if you have a platform, you use your job to radicalize more people. Everyone, is game time. Remember, I told you guys that weeks ago that right now is game time, and I am seeing people rise to the occasion. I want to inject revolutionary positivity right now to the stream. I want everyone here to be motivated, because I am. Bro, I watched this shit last night. Like, nigga, I need to find something to do. This shit is glorious. We have a lot to do and a lot of work to do, but this should fire everyone the fuck up. It's game time, and I think we as a movement, we are killing it. And when I show you guys the CNN statement I've been hyping on stream, you guys gonna know exactly what I mean. Because when I saw this fascist statement from CNN, because they're gonna complain about all these protests, I see nothing but panic. When you're seeing these legislation from Ron DeSantis and in Florida, when you see universities trying to ban this, that's the ruling class panicking. That is what Marxists, right now, we told you guys, tankies, Marxists, we are right about everything. Social Democrats wanted to party with liberals. The Ryan Grimms, the Anna Kasparians, the TYTs, the Sam Cedars, you know, the people with MSNBC contracts, they made the devil's bargain that we need to team up with liberals, and they used to criticize us because we used to tell them that liberals are our enemies. What the tankies used to say, remember Vosh, all these people hate tankies. Sam Cedar, Cenk Uygur, they hate tankies because we told them that liberalism, if you scratch a liberal, a fascist bleeds. A liberal only believes in quote-unquote rights until you disrupt their global order. And then you see the fascism that liberals will quickly implement when they see their liberal world order being challenged. You will see liberals side with fascists like they did in Ukraine, who banned collective bargaining. Liberals will side with fascists before they will side with your social democrat ass any day of the week. And this is why social democrats, while they got good economic principles, Marxists and communists are adversarial to social democrats because social democrats rather team with liberals than people who are anti-imperialists, than rather team up with the people who are Marxists. You guys see how scared they are of the tankies? Tankies, the new group of the far left extremists, experts are calling 100 times worse than Antifa. So all you right-wing quote-unquote populists who are afraid of communists and tankies, why do you guys think the establishment is more afraid of us than you motherfuckers? Who was right about everything, every step of the goddamn way? So, by the way, you have the right wing, you had Tucker Carlson in the tender age of what, 50? How old is Tucker Carlson? I'm gonna look up his age. I can't tell how old white people are, to be honest. The tender age of 54 years old. Tucker Carlson is 54 years old, and he just discovered the CIA is bad. You want to know who's been telling you guys the CIA was bad for decades? For half a century at least? The quote-unquote tankies. The tankies are the people that was called youthful idiots. The youthful idiot for the Soviet Union. The youthful idiot for China. The youthful idiot of Iran. AKA the people that was right every step of the way. They're like, oh, these are the youthful idiots speaking out against our Cold War as we killed millions of people. Meaning the people that was right every step of the way. Name me one goddamn thing tankies got wrong. Name me one thing tankies got wrong over the last few decades. Not one goddamn thing. You had the tankies that were calling out the COVID agenda as social democrats taking the jab, getting sick as fuck. Tankies calling that out. You had social democrats for funding Ukraine war. You know who called out the Ukraine war on the left? Tankies. You know who called out the Tiananmen Square massacre bullshit? Tankies. You want to know who called the propaganda against North Korea? Tankies. It was one of the things I told you guys know my evolution. I was a Bernie-crat like 4 or 5 years ago. I consider myself a social democrat, and I used to hear about tankies. I'm like, man, that sounds based to me. I never had any problems with that, but I see people melt down by the tankies. I'm like, man, these motherfuckers got people scared for a reason. Now you gotta see my national development because I start looking at science, start reading theory. I'm like, man, these people are afraid of these motherfuckers for a reason. You want to know who was the people that was advocating for a free Palestine since 1948? The tankies. So, thank you. Fred Hampton, notorious tanky. All the social democrats who pretend they love Fred Hampton now. Fred Hampton was based on what they would say, notorious tanky. If Fred Hampton was alive today, he would be smeared and deplatformed as a tanky. The Black Panthers has positive relationships with the DPRK, with the Soviet Union. And I'm going to say this once again, because, I pride myself on not selling out and giving you guys information based on subscriber counts. How many channels on YouTube is going to tell you about this? Yeah, most YouTube channels are going to go along with the anti-communist, fear-mongering bullshit. But if you want to know why this fucking protest is so successful, we're engaging in radical Marxist, tanky, revolutionary action here. Anyway, I went on a whole rant. This video was the segment. Then I went on. We did a 10-minute Nick rant detour, as we usually do. So let's get back to this video. I was just moved and inspired by the revolutionary potential I'm seeing right now. Like as much we talk about negative news on the show and things seem hopeless, we got like this. This is a fucking victory, guys. But anyway, let's continue.
Shame on you! Thank you.
Since October, about 100 journalists have been killed, most of those deaths in Gaza, according to the Committee to Protect Journalists.
Of course, the 2024 election is in full swing. And yes, age is an issue. I'm a grown man running against a 6-year-old.
جسر جوي متواصل من الأسلحة والأدوات العسكرية والطائرات تزودها أمريكا لإسرائيل قابل قتل المزيد من الأطفال والنساء، ومن بين هؤلاء الشهداء 141 زميل صحفي، بينهم مصور مثل سامر أبو دقة مصور قناة الجزيرة، أصيب الزميل وائل الدحدوحي المراسل. استشهد 141 مصور وزميل لنا كانوا يعملون معنا. هذا الاحتلال الاسرائيلي قتلهم اما عن قصد اصرار وسبب اصرار وترصد، او قتلهم مع عائلاتهم قصف منازلنا كما شهد الجميع وشاهد الجميع هذه الحرب وما كلفته على الصعيد الصحفي.
So the fact that the ruling class don't even have the intelligence to realize that they should have an event like this year. You guys probably should have called this event off, because as satisfying as that moment was for you guys, you guys had fun. You get to show off your dress. You had some cocktails. This is going to be a long-term propaganda loss for you guys. Look at the image of that flag hitting that aristocrat in the face, that privileged woman, and then she just look. The flag hit her right in the face. Look, boom, headshot. She get hit in the face. She walks right into the Palestinian flag. Look at that. That's classic. You can't write that, fam. And then she swiped the Palestinian flag off. Guys, these are images that are going around the world right now. I will watch this like, are you guys serious? You guys really going to give us a propaganda win to this extent? Pretending that you care about journalists. Having this event, pretend you care about journalists, as you guys have over 100 journalists murdered in Gaza. As the Biden administration covered up the death of prominent Palestinian journalist Shireen Abdul Akleh. As the Biden administration covered up the Ukraine government killing an American journalist, Gonzalo Lira. As a report came out that Putin did not kill Alexei Navalny. You guys are the ones killing journalists. The number one threat of the freedom of the press, what have I been telling you guys ever since I started this 3 years ago? The number one threat to the freedom of the press is the new axis of evil, the United States, the UK, and Israel. You guys understand that Julian Assange is Australian. Julian Assange is Australian. And you had Australia that asked the United States to not prosecute Julian Assange. So a close ally of ours, Australia, one of our closest allies, essentially was begging the Biden administration to drop charges against their own journalists for exposing United States war crimes. And the reaction of the Biden administration was, maybe. Maybe, which is no. Look, Biden is considering Australia's request. See, look, people, they like, why is print media dying? Print media is dying because your fucking website is horrible to use. Do you guys want people to click on your website or not? But anyway, Biden considering Australia's request to drop Julian Assange prosecution. So Australia, our ally, is asking Biden to not prosecute their journalists, and Biden says no. Despite that, we had the White House Correspondents Dinner that was pretending that it was standing up for the dignity of journalism. Look at this clip here, because now we're going to get to some clips of the Correspondents' Dinner. I'm not going to show you guys a lot, because, bro, I don't know why I was fucking suffering last night doing homework for you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe watching this shit. I watched all of it. And about halfway through, bro, it was like watching a movie, bro. I told you guys, I watched this shit
At the Wall
like a science. Like, holy shit. Holy shit, look at how crazy our society is. Like, it's like watching a movie. There's no fiction that's crazier than what we're living through. That's why I'm not into a lot of fiction nowadays. How can you write something that's crazier than our government? You know what I mean? So I'm going to show you guys this part, because watching this Correspondents' Dinner was like living in a fucking fever dream. Here is the White House Correspondents' Dinner talking about protecting journalists and journalists being prosecuted, as the United States, UK, and Israel are the biggest prosecutors and executors of journalists in modern human times.
Wall Street Journal, they are counting. For Moscow correspondent Evan Gerskovich, 396 days since he was jailed in Russia. The U.S. government has designated Evan as wrongfully detained. And Evan's parents and his family are with us tonight, and we are with you always. We remember Austin Tice, 4,276 days, nearly 12 years since he was kidnapped in Syria. His mother, Deborah, is with us. And Mrs. Tice, we are with you.
Listen to who they are not saying. Who are you not saying? They don't even mention the American journalists. Do you guys know Shireen Abdul-Akleh had American citizenship? So I always accidentally leave that out when I cover her, but you got to know that she was technically an American too. So you had Shireen Abdul-Akleh, American, murdered by Israel. Gonzalo Lira, American, murdered by the Ukrainian regime that we are funding. No mention of any of these people. This is literally traitorous. Like, this is beyond bad at this point. This is traitorous. So let's continue.
And Mr. President, again, we humbly ask that you do everything you can to bring them home. Our profession can be perilous. Since October, about 100 journalists have been killed, most of those deaths in Gaza.
Killed by who, ma'am? Killed by who? You shameless motherfucker. Do you understand why she don't tell you why? Because the idea they implant in people's head are these journalists are dead because of Hamas when they say that. They want to leave the impression that Hamas is at fault when these journalists was targeted and executed by the state of Israel. But watch how she conveniently leaves that part out. This is literally traitorous behavior we're witnessing here.
About 100 journalists have been killed, most of those deaths in Gaza, according to the Committee to Protect Journalists. Around the world, more than 320 reporters imprisoned as...
She don't even mention who killed them. This is the point I had to emphasize, because I watched this live and I literally flipped my shit when I saw this part. Because I wasn't even expecting to mention the journalists killed in Gaza. Guys, to me, and this is my personal opinion, it's literally better off if you don't even fucking mention it. If you're going to leave this impression or not even point out the fact that Israel murdered them. Maybe I might be wrong there. Who knows? But anyway, let's continue. This is literally insane.
Gaza, according to the Committee to Protect Journalists. Around the world, more than 320 reporters imprisoned as of December, including an American with dual Russian citizenship, Alsu Kermayshev, who works for the U.S.-funded Radio Free Europe Radio Liberty. She has been jailed in Russia since October.
In Russia. So, I don't know details about that case, but I don't have to debunk it. What did I tell you guys in RBN? And these white people, bro, are having a hard time dealing with my politics, bro. I had someone else who snitch tagged the FBI on me. Here, I'm going to show you guys this. Guys, you know how many times this happened on me? I didn't plan this, but I'm going to make a point. Look. We got another person snitch tagging the FBI on me. You know how many people send this kind of shit to me? I said another one because I ratio someone else for doing this. So white people believe that I should be killed and arrested, most likely killed, by the CIA and the FBI. Why? Why do so many white people oppose my coverage? Because unlike these cowardly motherfuckers, I do what a journalist is actually supposed to do. I do what someone who is a patriot is supposed to do. I am way more patriotic than all you motherfuckers combined. I want our country to live and behave based on the oath that they claim. So I, as a citizen journalist and as a taxpayer to our government, want to hold our government responsible for the crimes our government commits because I pay taxpayer money to our fucking government. You want to know where my taxpayer money don't go? Putin, Xi Jinping, Russia. You want to know the height of cowardice? The height of cowardice are the people who spend all their time, despite living in the most violent empire in modern human history, spend all their time criticizing Russia, China, essentially every person the CIA tells you to hate. And there are people who consider themselves anti-establishment, right-wing populists, who none of them I take seriously, which is why I never took Tucker Carlson seriously. He does this about China. He's slowly getting it, but I don't think he's going to get it. But these people, oh my God, China's so easy. If you do that, you are useless. You are, no matter what you say, you are still an agent of the empire. The only thing that citizen journalists should be doing, especially if you live in the West, because I'll put exception if you're a colonized movement, because you should be working for your liberation at that point unapologetically. But if you live in the most violent empire, if you live in the empire, journalism should fundamentally be different. You should be covering what the hell is going on in your empire. But at this White House Correspondents Dinner, they just want to bring up shit that Russia did. And as they bring up what Russia is doing, this is the reality of America. This is St. Louis. And I was thinking about driving down there. I still may. I'm nervous, guys, because you guys know they want the FBI to fucking kill me already. And I got bag tags and shit. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I was thinking about. I'm gonna drive out here. I have a friend who lives in St. Louis who sent me this. And they had this encampment that started yesterday in St. Louis at the University of Washington, I believe it's called. And I'm like, and I Googled it. I'm like, fuck, that's a 4-hour drive, but I might do it. The problem is, you guys know I'm a working class journalist. I don't have breaking points or even status quo level funding. So if I was thinking, like, man, I had to drive out there for 4 hours. Then I had to find a place to stay, maybe. Like, fuck, I might get arrested. There's a lot of shit that go on. So with that stuff, I'm still considering it. That's why if you guys want to see me do more on the ground stuff like this, supporting the Patreon and supporting our page is the best way to do it, because I am a working class journalist. Like any expense can fuck me up. Like I live very within my means, so that's why I'm more hesitant to do this. But I think this is so important that I may just bite it and take the drive, because you guys see what's going on in St. Louis right now. Once again, this is 4 hours away from me, and I may take the pilgrimage later this week. I'm definitely might go to Kansas, because Joe Stein and they have a big event on Tuesday. I plan on going there because KU is actually only like 45 minutes away from me. So I'm still taking a break, my friend. I'm still taking a risk, my friends, because these people know who I am, guys. And I know I'm paranoid, but I have every fucking reason to. They know who I am. I got bag tags, so I got every reason for these motherfuckers to pull me over and fuck with me. So my plan always was, once I get my tax situation fixed, then I can start doing road trips. But I'm very nervous, I'll be honest with you guys, with doing road trips, having the politics I am, giving the cops a reason to fuck with me. You know what I mean? But I will make the trip to Kansas. Hopefully I don't get fucked up. You know what I mean? But let's watch this video, and I'm going to show you guys exactly why I'm considering doing this 4-hour drive there and back to cover this, because this is crazy. Let me read the description just so you know what's going on here. Hundreds show up to protest Washington used ties to Boeing. Remember, this is in St. Louis amid the war in Gaza today. Now, after their mass protests in their encampment, they're trying to set up encampment. We live in Missouri. Like, we have literally the most insane fascist senators, the most insane fascist governor, literally traitors to our country for Israel. So this is like the worst state to do shit, guys. So the Governor Parson send the police state after these people, and this is why we have to praise these motherfuckers for the bravery, because you're gonna see the bravery where they lock arms and they get brutalized by the police state, and that's what's gonna happen here. So let's watch the video. Look, if you can't hear it, because it's kind of quiet when you're not on the phone, they're saying hold the line. Hold the line. And now look at the police violence they have here. Look at the fascism that we have in our country as the White House Correspondents Dinner spent all the time fear-mongering about Russia. But you want to spend your time criticizing the quote-unquote authoritarianism of Russia and China. You know, two countries who combined have less people in prison than we do. China has, 1.3 billion people? God knows what it is now, 1.4? How you have 1.4 billion people, but you have less people in prison than we do, when we have about 5 times less people than them, but then people are somehow convinced that they're authoritarian? Please make it make sense. And I'm going to show you guys some more glorious acts of the resistance, because I told you guys the Palestinian resistance. Yeah, this is a good point. Yeah, I'm going to read this because I see this comment on the side of my eye. I never want to hear about how the Dems are the good guys ever again. You guys see how I'm having a hard time forgiving people in the know who voted for Biden? You see why I'm having a hard time forgiving the Ryan Grimms, the Jordan Cheritons? You guys enabled this. Your little petty criticisms mean nothing. This is what you guys vote for. Not only do you guys vote for them, you guys use your platform to trick other people to vote for them. I have a very hard time forgiving those people. So remember my rant about how the Palestinian resistance is on fire. So this is obviously very hard to see. But this is anti-genocide protesters outside of the White House Correspondents Dinner holding a mock IDF execution. So as all these privileged motherfuckers are walking in, you had an IDF that took people in Al-Shifa hospitals. There was a mass grave, 300 people found. It has been widely reported that they took young men or any males, and they assumed they were part of Hamas, and they had these mass executions. So this is very hard to watch, but this is fucking glorious acts of resistance right here. This is glorious way to raise awareness. So as these people coming in, they're holding a mock IDF execution to show people what Joe Biden is apologizing for. Because remember, the position of the Biden administration is that Israel has done nothing wrong. Israel is not committing genocide. According to Blinken in the White House, Israel has not committed a single human rights violation in Gaza. That is the position of the Biden administration, as the White House Corps is celebrating them, and as Biden is sponsoring this. Remember, this is a mock. I'm gonna fucking kill your husband! Shut the fucking up on! You Palestinians fucking suck! You don't deserve to fucking live! This is our land! Your entire fucking family is gonna be wiped off the fucking registry! You guys see, I love that they have this person playing the IDF person say that, because all the people who want to convince you that Hamas is evil, even if we accept everything they said with Hamas, what we absolutely should not, by the way. But if we accept everything they say about Hamas, Hamas is still nowhere near as evil as the IDF, because even the worst interpretation of what Hamas is, Hamas don't execute entire family members. Israel, by policy, waits till their target is at home with their family to maximize effect. They literally admit this. That's why so many people, you had government officials, people who are doctors, nurses, people who work for the government, who their entire family was murdered because technically they worked under Hamas as a government official. So Israel murdered people's entire family by dropping bombs on their homes. So guys, even if you accept, which you shouldn't, the worst interpretation of what Hamas is, the worst interpretation of Hamas don't have shit on Israel. There's never been an example of Hamas executing an entire Israeli family. Let's continue.
You don't have any fucking friends left, you fucking terrorist! You like that? You like watching your fucking husband and brothers die? That's why you're fucking dead, you disgusting fucking women! Boo!
And if you guys think that they're being overdramatic, they're not. It's been highly reported that Israelis engage in psychological torture as well. So they talk to them exactly like this. They call them terrorist scum and human garbage as they are executing them. So this person is not overselling it. I cannot emphasize that enough. This is 100% accurate. They engage in verbal and psychological torture as well.
How fucking dare you document this? Fuck you.
How dare you document this?
Yeah. I'm gonna come after your fucking family. Last one. Israel is our fucking land!
So this is just one of the many fantastic acts of resistance and protests that these activists are doing, which is leading the ruling class to lose their mind. And I'm gonna show you guys here soon a CNN segment which I've been hyping up on stream, which is 100% pro-fascist. Because they're very upset that these people are doing stuff like this, because this is extremely powerful. Because once again, this is not going to be shown on MSNBC, CNN, and Fox News. Americans are continuing to be the most uninformed population ever. But Revolutionary Blackout is going to show this. Chinese state media is showing this. Russian state media is showing this. Press TV, Iranian state media is showing this. Hell, you got India media showing this. Every media outlet in Africa, every media outlet in South Africa, they are showing this, my friends. So yeah, Americans, they live in their bubble, bro. But this shit is over. This legit. You have the ICC. I don't have time to do something today, but it'll be coming later this week. The ICC. Actually, I may have time to squeeze it in. You're gonna have war crime charges possibly being charged on Netanyahu. And it is expected to be announced this week. Let's see. Let me pull it out. If I find this receipt. This week they expect to get Netanyahu. Anyway, I'll cover that a little bit later. I got to move on. I still got fuck. I only playing an hour, but I still got a lot to cover. Damn. So fuck, I got a lot of cover. I went over. I'm hell over time. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys. So as this protest is going on outside, You have these devastating demonstrations that's going to forever ruin the credibility of the West. We have the cringiest event known to man going on inside. I told you guys, they made a huge mistake doing this event. You had people who are anti-genocide protesters demanding them to shut down the White House Correspondents Dinner. And then the ruling class was so smug, like, no, fuck you. You guys don't tell us what to do. Guys, you should have listened. Because this event will be studied for years to come for the amount of shameless propaganda. I bet you Chinese, Russian state media, all of them are just going to play the clip that I'll show you guys. But I'm going to show you guys right now to show you guys how fucking insane the West is right now. So you have this White House Correspondents Dinner. And the premise of the White House Correspondents Dinner is that they're going to get together and they're going to roast the president. And now his set was like 26 minutes long. And the worst thing that he said about Joe Biden was how he was losing black support. There was a jab in the bit that was about him losing black support and how Democrats are not popular. That was the closest to a roast that you got in his entire 25-minute set. Was him saying, ha ha, you less popular with black people than you used to be, ha ha. That's the premise of this dinner, is that the people can roast the president. There was no roasting, my friends. You're gonna see, and I had to post this because I watched this live and I saw this part and I was dumbfounded. I was dumbfounded to the point where I tweeted out like, bro, do you guys see this? Where the comedian that's supposed to roast Joe Biden stops to praise him as a decent man. So this clip is pretty long, 4 minutes, but holy shit. And this goes on as there's mass genocide protests outside, as you have every single person in this building that was forced to take a walk of shame on their way inside, except Joe Biden, who they snuck in through a trap door, which says everything, right? Which, imagine that happened in North Korea. You know how many headlines that would be said about that? That with China and Russia, where their leaders have to sneak through back doors because they're so unpopular. But anyway, I'll have this clip enough. Let's let it play. I'm gonna torture the fuck out of you guys real quick.
And with my family in mind, I wanted to share one last thing with you before I go, and I wanted to share one thing with you, Mr. President, before I go. I lost my grandfather this year, as you alluded to, a firefighter, William Kelly. He's the reason that our son's middle name is William. He helped raise me growing up, and I would not be here today without him. My grandpa was a firefighter on Staten Island for 40 years. To make extra money for his family, he was a substitute teacher, and he painted houses. And since it's Staten Island, I should point out it's not like the Scorsese Irishman painting houses. He was not a mafia hitman. He actually painted houses. The FBI is here. I don't want to start a whole thing. My grandfather was another rare Irishman who didn't drink because he lost his father and his brother to alcoholism. And I swear, Mr. President, this is not an age comparison. You remind me of him. Some of your best qualities remind me of his. And I will say he was 95 and he was still great at stairs. I think it's because he didn't try to run up them. But the reason that I bring up my grandfather, and I don't know if you realize, Mr. President, but Staten Island firefighters are not normally your demographic. Staten Island voted about 70% for Trump in the last election, and the other 30% was for Giuliani. But Staten Island also sided with the British during the Revolutionary War. So we're not always on the right side of history. You remember. But my grandfather, a Staten Island firefighter, voted for you, Mr. President.
With a punchline.
He voted for you in the last election that he ever voted in. I mean, I'm sure someone else will vote twice in this election using his name, but that's just how the democratic machine works.
My soul hurts.
He voted for you, and the reason that he voted for you is because you're a decent man.
Bro, what? This is the shit that is being aired on our TV, and people don't think we're the most propagandized country in the world. Remember, the whole premise of this is that this is supposed to be a roast, guys. And you have a guy that is funding a whole ass genocide, that is providing diplomatic immunity to a country committing genocide, providing diplomatic cover, I should say. You have the guy who lied about UNRWA. So it's been widely reported, and you have even the German government, even the country of Germany decided to continue funding UNRWA because, like many investigations, has shown that Israel got their dossier via torture. They have no evidence of UNRWA participating in terrorism. But despite Israel having no evidence of defunding UNRWA, Joe Biden said he saw it. Joe Biden said he saw evidence lying of UNRWA being terrorists so he can defund UNRWA so more Palestinians can starve to death. That's the guy that this shit lib that they call comedian is calling decent. Do you guys understand why I despise liberalism now? I sound completely different than I did about 7 years ago, even way different than I did 4 to 5 years ago as a Bernie crack, because I rejected every ounce of liberalism from my body. I completely decolonized my mind, and I realized that liberals are our number one enemy because liberals are okay with mass atrocities. Liberals is okay with evil, state violence, a thug that funded Nazis in Ukraine, waging war in Africa. One of the most evil motherfuckers of all time. You can do whatever you want as long as you're decent. Do you guys see why liberalism is so dangerous? Under liberalism, you can commit whatever crime if you're part of the ruling class. You can fund genocide. You can become the drone strike king like Barack Obama, drop drones on weddings. You can bomb hospitals. You can fund genocides. You can kick Guantanamo Bay up, and you can have secret torture sites. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, I should say, there's no limit to your depravity as long as you're decent, as long as you're polite, as long as you're civil. You can commit whatever crime you want if you're part of this government. That is the ideology of liberalism. They oppose any act of liberation except the current one. Truly, utterly disgusting behavior here. I'll play it again. I'll play it again just because of how bad it was.
He voted for you, and the reason that he voted for you is because you're a decent man.
He even waits for the applause. He even waits for the applause. Hey guys, this is the part we put to applaud. Remember, this is Biden's moment. This is Biden's moments, guys. Put applause right here. There are no comedians no more. Comedy as a medium is dead. Bunch of bootlicking motherfuckers. The age of George Carlin is dead. I always spoke about how much I idolize Carlin. You know what I mean? The age of Carlin, the age of comedians speaking out against this shit is over. This is the most propagandized country in the world. The West has completely lost their mind, and we are living through a historic age of mass genocidal psychosis. I don't want to diss anyone, but man, like Bill Burr's all right, but he kind of shit-lived too, man. He kind of shit-lived too, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, let's continue. But I don't want to get you wrong. I like Bill Burr, but we shouldn't be listening to none of these people regarding politics, man. Not a goddamn thing. There is literally, like, I can still listen to the Carlin sets to this day. To this day, as a comedian, I mean, as a communist, I can listen to George Carlin's set and I'll have a great time. Bill Burr is funny, bro, but I can't listen to his political shit. He sounds like a shitlip to me, man. Like when you have class analysis, he got good jokes, but it's not class based. I'm not seeing him call the empire and the propaganda. George Carlin had a bit about soft language and how people call Israeli terrorist commandos. George Carlin had a bit calling out Israeli propaganda. Show me the bit where Bill Burr is calling out Israeli propaganda. There's difference, bro. Like, I'm not shitting on Bill Burr because I think he is good, but I will never listen to him I will never even consider him a dissident. You know what I mean? But that's just my opinion, and that opinion's on pop culture. So who cares? Who cares? Just pop, if you don't agree with how I feel about celebrity, who cares? It's just celebrity shit. Let's finish the rest of this cringe video, and then I have a funny way to end this segment. So we torture ourselves through this part, but there's a part of this correspondence dinner that just I tweeted about today. So if you follow my Twitter account, you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to spoil it, so let's finish this part. I'm gonna get to the last part of the segment.
It's because you're a decent man. My grandpa voted for decency, and decency is why we're all here tonight. Decency is how we're able to be here tonight.
What the fucking fuck? Holy. These are the most detestable assholes in the world. These are journalists who won't speak up about hundreds of journalists being murdered by their taxpayer money. They are cheering for the guy responsible for this. These are journalists. I wouldn't put on another rant this segment, but they are cheering for a guy and they refuse to speak out. In fact, few of them was in favor of the prosecution of Julian Assange. Not a single one of these motherfuckers in this room said anything about Gonzalo Lira, the American journalist that was killed by Ukraine. Every single one of these people support Ukraine. And here they are just patting each other on the back. So I'm sorry, I'm gonna let it finish for the sake of time. But man, this shit is very triggering. I'm gonna let it play uninterrupted.
And decency is why we're all here tonight. Decency is how we're able to be here tonight.
This is literally crazy, man.
Decency is how we're able to make jokes about each other and one of us doesn't go to prison after. We go to the Newsmax after party. And when you look at the levels of freedom throughout history and even around the world today, this is the exception. This
oh my fucking God!
Rare. And the journalists
oh my
in this
fucking
room
God!
help protect that freedom, and we cannot ever take that for granted.
I'll play that part again because I got triggered, so I know you guys probably didn't hear it. Listen to this. This actually works the second time you listen to it. Maybe because I watched it live and I grabbed the clips. I guess I was like, maybe didn't like, bro. This part is probably the worst part. Holy shit! This time I promise I won't interrupt it. Wow. I won't interrupt this time.
Decency is how we're able to make jokes about each other, and one of us doesn't go to prison after. We go to the Newsmax after party. And when you look at the levels of freedom throughout history and even around the world today, this is the exception. This freedom is incredibly rare, and the journalists in this room help protect that freedom, and we cannot ever take that for granted. So, Mr. President, I thank you for your decency on behalf of my grandfather, and I thank all of you, almost all of you, for your decency as well. I am very honored and grateful that you invited me here tonight. Thank you and good night.
So he said some of you. Remember, you know how the end, he said, I applaud you guys. I mean, some of you guys. So what he's saying is, if you're part of Fox News or part of the right-wing media sphere, he's not talking about you. He's like, we are all decent. We are such great people. We are great people. So we should pat ourselves on the back. We are such amazing people, aren't we? We are amazing people. We are so great. They do this without a hint of irony. They like, we are all great people except Fox News. So according to this shit lib, Fox News doing right-wing propaganda is worse than you guys doing genocide propaganda. It's worse than you guys doing propaganda. And probably, as I describe on Twitter in my tweet, the most sickening display, this aired on TV. This was aired on TV. This is the most disgusting act of public bootlicking that we have ever seen. Probably one of the most blatant propaganda segments that we ever seen. Here in the most authoritarian police state, we have cop cities up everywhere. We have the UK, Israel, the United States executing journalists en masse, killing American journalists. And then at the very end, he's like, oh man, we're the reason why, we're the representatives of freedom. Everywhere else is dark. Everywhere else is evil. Oh my God, the world is a dark place. We are the beacon of light. We are the beacon of justice. We are the thing that separates fascism and democracy. This is kind of shit that fascists say. This is literally insanity. Like, bro, if we looked at this from the outside in, like when people look back on history, they're going to see this clip and we're going to see it no different than, you know how people see like the Nazi rallies? Then people are like, oh my God, how can they get hypnotized like that? You see what this person said? Like, oh my, you know, Hitler said that he believed he was the savior of humanity. You know how they bring out those old crazy quotes? That's going to be people about 50 years from now looking back what people say now. He literally painted a picture that journalism and freedom is under attack, and they're the only thing protecting it. It's literally the most egotistical, batshit crazy thing you can possibly say. And that just being aired on our TV. We're the most propagandized country in the world. Let me read some super chats before we get too buried here. I still got the CNN segment I'm definitely going to cover. I post shows Jill Stein getting arrested. Fuck. I might have to edit my title. I'll put this up while I read the super chats. Remember, guys, hope you guys support the show. Because I have no producer. I throw everything together myself. I mean, I don't have no fancy breaking points producer, all this shit. We doing this ourselves. Why can't I find this? Here it is. I put this up in the background because Joe Stein was arrested. Because I actually do got to cover this real quick. So I'll cover this as I read some super chats. Here's the tweet from Jill Stein, who's apparently, what tweet I saw earlier? They probably in Kansas, so I'm gonna see if I can go up there on Tuesday. But here's Jill Stein being arrested. I have this up while we play. Jill Stein and her campaign manager and deputy campaign manager Jason Call and Kelly Morrell Kayer has been arrested at Washington University in St. Louis while supporting a protest against Washington U ties on the war of Gaza. So no matter what excuses liberals make up, we have Joe Biden sicking the police state after his political rival for opposing a genocide that he supports. Liberals going to try and find a 1,000 ways to justify this. But do you understand the headlines we would see in the New York Times, in the New York Post, if this was seen in Russia? If Putin arrested someone that was on the ballots against him for protesting a war, it will be never-ending 24/7 coverage of that. It will be never-ending 24/7 coverage of Putin gets anti-war dissident candidate arrested. Everything the United States has said about our enemies is true of ourselves. It's all projection. Everything the United States has ever said was all projection. So that's a quick segment. No need for that segment to be super long. I'm gonna read some super chats. I'm gonna show you guys this the CNN fascist video where they respond to it's literally one of the most craziest segments, and it's like back to back with all these crazy segments. One more thing I'm gonna show you guys. I'm literally like quickly showing you guys some receipts. I'm running behind. On this Saturday night, despite the legendary bootlicking that we saw, from that SNL host, where he essentially praising Biden, praising the journalism, he sold his soul. Well, a long time ago, that's how he got the invite in the first place. That's why he hosting SNL. Do you guys know that after all of that bootlicking shit that he did, he's still getting destroyed in the New York Times? Because Colin Jost, or however you say his name, he thought that extreme bootlicking towards the establishment will make up for the fact that he's not funny. He thought that if he stuck up to the media enough, he stuck up to Biden enough, the media would ignore that he probably gave the worst televised stand-up segment in modern times, in years at least, in decades at least. Because I saw a lot of people in the comments as we were watching the video, you guys were saying in the comments that, man, this shit is not funny. But you guys notice I wasn't focused on that because I had a larger point to make. But yeah, guys, I saw the entire set, my friends. It's on YouTube right now if you're curious. It's a 25-minute set that will go down in history as the least funniest shit you will ever hear in your life. My roommate was listening to it like, bro, this dude's not funny. The worst comedy you ever hear in your life. So now you have the New York Times. Guys, the New York Times is now roasting him for this horrifically unfunny segment. Listen to this. On this Saturday night, Colin Jost jokes fell flat. So after bootlicking the establishment, then the New York Times didn't roast his ass. Couldn't happen to a bigger bootlicker, right? The White House Correspondents Dinner has occasionally featured some great stand-up comedy. This SNL veteran said will not join that list. It will not join the list of the few good sets. And that's just going by them. I found Michelle Wolf roasting Sarah Huckabee Sanders to be funny. Stephen Colbert obviously had a classy, which honestly I don't know how well it holds up to this day. You know, the Stephen Colbert Correspondents Dinner, because I haven't seen it in over a decade since it happened. So I don't know how well that holds up, to be honest. But that's considered a great bit. But this Correspondents Dinner, this guy bombed so bad. He better be happy that he has an SNL contract, apparently, because if he only had to rely on stand-up comedy, his career would be over. That's how bad that set was. Man, I'm really about to do another 2-hour stream today, am I? God damn it. Well, I guess it's okay because I didn't stream Friday and Saturday, so I guess it's only fair that I do a 2-hour stream. Only playing 1 hour. Supposed to have some family come over here soon. So I'm going a little bit late, but I didn't do Nick at Noon on Saturday, so I can do another segment. I definitely want to show you guys this crazy ass CNN clip. This propaganda segment that we're about to do is about to be the propaganda segments. I was watching this, and I couldn't watch 30 seconds of it without pausing, without freaking out, without being like, what the fuck? What the fuck? So, another reason, I think Sabby's supposed to go live here soon. I think Sabby's going live in an hour, so I got to make sure I end before Sabby. But before I get to this batshit crazy CNN segment, I'm going to show you guys something that's very important. what the media is not telling you is how you have these protests, a lot of them being led by anti-Zionist Jewish people. Anti-Zionist Jewish organizations have an almost overrepresented like influence in these protests. Like there's a large amount of Orthodox Jews and peace-loving Jewish people like our friends Max Blumenthal, Katie Halper, Dan Cohen, and many others who are Jewish and just anti-war. They're not even necessarily Orthodox Jews. But despite this reality, and guys, I can show you countless examples. Do you guys see how many, and it's been mentioned many times, I'll read this tweet, there were more Jewish people at the pro-Palestine march today than there were Zionists at the counter-pro-Israel protests. And there's so many examples of this, where there be these Israeli protests that literally pales in size compared to the amount of Jewish people that are protesting Israel. And I know you're like, oh man, oh Nick, that's anecdotal. Guys, I reported on polls that showed the majority of Jewish Americans, it's like 60% of Jewish Americans supported a ceasefire. So this is shown in polls as well. It's shown in polls that majority of Jewish people support a ceasefire. So it's shown on the protest based on our eyes and ears, and it's shown in the raw data. And you also got to remember, as we also covered, and I'll cover this on my show on Thursday, a lot of these Israeli protests are literally PSYOP campaigns. Like, remember Marshall from Breaking Points? Who they engage in astroturfing, they pay young people to show up to the Israeli protests. So these Israeli protests are Israeli genocide solidarity? I guess what you call it, genocide solidarity protests? So these genocide solidarity protests, they have less people despite astroturfing. And I want to make this point before I show you guys the CNN segment, because the entirety of the corporate media, every single one of them, including from the right, from the corporate left, the Democrat left, from print media, from blue checks who are Democrats, from blue checks who are Republicans, everyone is lying to you in a mass psychosis that will be studied for years, where they're pretending that these protests and the universities are leading to Jewish people being unsafe. We covered, in fact, not only did we cover it, everyone in their fucking mama covered that video. I thought I was getting you guys something unique. Well, I covered, you know, that story that Jewish Karen woman who went to a Palestinian protest and no one gave a fuck. You guys know what I'm talking about, because everyone in their fucking mama covered it. I thought I was doing something unique. But it's something important to cover. So I'm glad that if there was any video that everyone's going to cover, I'm glad that it was that one. Because it showed that Jewish people, even people who are trying to be provocative on purpose, are safe as hell during Jewish protests. But despite that, you have the media running these narratives. So let's play this when they're pretending that Jewish people are unsafe, despite the fact that we are literally witnessing the fact that they are not. Every single one of these Jewish people that you see on corporate media talking about how unsafe they are on corporate media, you track their origins, and they always are like the children of Mossad agents. They are student organizers for Israel actions. There are no people who are not paid or directly hardcore Zionists that are siding with Israel. But I'm hyping the segment up too much. I'm going to wait too long because this segment is 10 minutes. I don't know how long I'm going to get to it. Bro, this is 10 minutes of insanity. I literally, it took me 40 minutes to watch this probably, just doing research, bro. That's me not even ranting. I was literally in shambles watching what I can only describe as a pro-fascist segment being aired not on Fox News, not by Ben Shapiro. This is CNN that's about to air one of the craziest segments that I'm ever about to show you on RBN. So the title is Why NYU Professor Says Instructors Who Are Protesting Should Be Fired. So I saw the title alone. I was like, Bro, what? And the video is just as crazy as the title implies.
I'm Michael Smerconish in Philadelphia. This week, the University of Southern California, where nearly 100 arrests have been made amidst protests since the university canceled its Muslim valedictorian speaker, announced it was now canceling its main stage commencement ceremony next month. They cited insufficient time to carry out.
Look at the look at the sub headline. I don't want to interrupt it too much because I think the propaganda in this segment is so smart. I think you guys are gonna pick up a lot of it. So I try my best because I'm limited on time here. But you guys see the headline they put here: college protest, a Trojan horse. You guys see what they want to put in people's mind? These people will smear Alex Jones. They will smear RBN, and they will smear independent media as conspiracy pushing maniacs who's giving misinformation to the American public. But you're going to witness in the first few minutes of this segment, you guys see I made like 20 seconds here, they're going to highly imply that the reason why there are mass protests is not because of young people opposing genocide. That it may be a secret PSYOP actual turf campaign by Iran and China. No, I'm dead serious.
Out, quote, new safety measures. It's the latest, most high-profile ramification of the surge of pro-Palestinian protests disrupting campuses all across America. Students saying they have a right to free speech. Jewish students saying that speech is often anti-Semitic. So what?
Which one is right, newsman? I'm sorry to interrupt it, but he says one of the sides said we got a right to free speech. The other side said they don't. I don't know who's right. Who knows? That's what liberals say. That's what shit that liberals do. The liberals see us advocating for the end of empire and the end of war. And then you have the far right that calling for endless colonialism and endless war crimes. And the fucking moderate, the centrist, like, I don't know who's right here. One person claims they committed war crimes. The other one claims they're not. One person claims they're fighting for the free speech. The other one not. There is a such thing as objective truth. And you guys see how their job is to hide the objective truth. The objective truth is that students, not even students, that Americans, anyone under a free democratic society have a right to protest their government foreign policy. But then CNN poses it as a question. Like, oh, who's right on this First Amendment debate? Do students have the right to protest their government? I don't know. Anyway, guys, this segment is going to be so hard, guys. I promise you guys. I already broke my vow. I apologize so much.
California, where nearly 100 arrests have been made amidst protests since the university canceled its Muslim valedictorian speaker, announced it was now canceling its main stage commencement ceremony next month. They cited insufficient time to carry out, quote, new safety measures. It's the latest, most high-profile ramification of the surge of pro-Palestinian protests disrupting campuses all across America. Students saying they have a right to free speech. Jewish students saying that speech is often anti-Semitic. So what is the current reaction? Are protesters the modern-day Greeks who used a deceptive tactic to enter the campus and defeat the Trojans? Me, I'm sympathetic to the university presidents and administrators who—
Of course you are. Of course you are. You see the scourge of institutionalist ideology? You don't get the job on CNN unless you're naturally inclined to be sympathetic towards the institutions instead of the people. So I'm going to keep my interruptions short because it's going to be hard. You guys see, I favor and I'm sympathetic towards the institutions. Fuck the institutions, especially the institutions supporting genocide.
It's often anti-Semitic. So what is the current reaction? Are protesters the modern-day Greeks who used a deceptive tactic to enter the campus and defeat the Trojans? Me, I'm sympathetic to the university presidents and administrators who now have to engage in a difficult balancing act. Campuses have become the staging ground for America's growing divide over supporting Israel as it retaliates for Hamas's October 7 attacks.
Really quick, you see how there's a balancing act? There is no balancing act. You have the right to protest. Freedom of speech is real. There is no balancing act here, sir. But I'll let it continue.
Hundreds were arrested at pro-Palestinian protests and encampments at several major U.S. universities.
And you guys see why I stopped using the term pro-Palestinian? Or at least I'm going to try because I fucked up earlier. I'm purposely going to try to stop using the term pro-Palestinian protest because you guys see what they're trying to do? It's not anti-genocide protests. It's not even pro-ceasefire protests. It's oh, you're picking a side. Look at these people picking a side. Look at these tribal people. That's the implication. They're not tribal. We are advocating for international law. But they say pro-Palestinian protest. But I'll let it continue. I'll tell you guys, this one's going to be very fucking hard for me. But let's see how much
October 7 attacks. Hundreds were arrested at pro-Palestinian protests and encampments at several major U.S. universities around the country. Friday, Columbia University announced that it had banned the student leading the university's pro-Palestinian protests. A student spokesperson for Columbia's Apartheid Divest Coalition acknowledged that in a past Instagram video,
guys, and they are loving this. The corporate media is having a field day over this. But I see a lot of people condemning this person. That is not what we're going to do. I condemn the people who commit genocide. I condemn the people who will lead someone to have an emotional outburst when they say something they may regret, like Zionists don't deserve to live. And I don't disagree with, but I'm gonna say this because I don't condemn what he said at all. I'm gonna say we need to move in a tactical way. That's all I'm gonna say. You know what I mean? Like, this is kind of stuff you probably should say behind the scenes because we're fighting a propaganda war. But I think the anger should go towards the government that leads people to say this kind of stuff. You don't condemn the people who say something you may find distasteful. And I'm gonna be open. I'm gonna be clear. I absolutely don't find it distasteful. We've got to be tactical in where I'm. Does that make sense? Hopefully, I'm very torn on this, as you guys see, because I'm very sympathetic with this guy because I see people in the Palestinian movement condemn him because they are using him as a way to condemn the protest, but we shouldn't go along with that shit. You know what I mean? We shouldn't go along with them. You know what I mean? We have every right to be emotional. We have every right to be emotional. And if we are emotional and we say something that we may or may not regret, it's because the government led us to that position. But with that said, maybe like we gotta be tactical too. Like, do those two thoughts make sense, guys? Can you guys see how I'm kind of torn on this? Because we need people to speak their heart and truth, but at the same time, if you are someone who literally organizing these protests, as someone in the comments said, don't give them the ammunition. Do those two thoughts together make sense? I hope it does, because you guys see how I'm kind of torn on this. But anyway, let's continue. Let's continue the video. But you guys see, they're going to use him as a way to attack the protest, which is why a lot of people are kind of upset at him. But let's
person for Columbia's Apartheid Divest Coalition acknowledged that in a past Instagram video, he had said, quote, Zionists don't deserve to live. Meanwhile, the movement is also proliferating to campuses around the globe, from Paris to Rome to England to Australia. Several American schools suspended classes or moved them online, and some campuses shut down completely. But I say campuses shouldn't close, nor should they permit tents. Tents aren't speech. Tents are trespassing.
Does it say that in the Constitution? You guys see how these fascists, they just make shit up? I've seen people say, oh, you're not allowed to protest over there because people drive over there. Like, there's nothing in the Constitution that's supposed to limit this shit. A protest with permission of the government and institutions is a glorified prep rally. The point of a protest is to disrupt. So what these people who claim they support the Constitution, they say, well, that's not really free speech. I am here to dictate what free speech is. He said tents are not free speech. Where in the Constitution is there an exception for tenting? They just make shit up. That is what fascists do. But God damn it, I'm going way too long on the segment. I'm very self-aware. This segment is very hard to get through, but let's continue.
Shouldn't close, nor should they permit tents. Tents aren't speech. Tents are trespassing. They need to balance those interests, the interests of those who want to protest without hate speech or otherwise inciting violence, and within the rules established by these private universities, balance those interests while ensuring that the university community at large can carry on its functioning. For example, here in Philadelphia at the University of Pennsylvania, the interim president issued a letter to the Penn community on Friday night demanding that the pro-Palestinian protesters on campus disband their Gaza Solidarity encampment immediately because of alleged legal and university policy violations, adding that anti-Semitic graffiti on the
I'm gonna play.
statue in front of College Hall.
I already talked a bit, so I'm gonna wait till the real fascists hit the screen because this is just the intro. So I'm gonna let it play for a bit because I already talked a bit. So I'll be back.
Will be investigated as a hate crime. This morning, 6 a.m., I went to the Penn campus. I wanted to see for myself. It's my alma mater for law school. Nobody seemed awake as I walked around the encampment. Had they been, I wanted to ask somebody, how many of you are students? I'm most sympathetic to the students, especially the seniors, who right now should be enjoying the last month of class and camaraderie, but are instead fearful, forced to study remotely, and now denied the pomp and circumstance that they've earned. Keep this in mind. Any member of the college class of 2024 was likely a high school graduate in the spring of 2020.
So the argument that this guy is making is that we shouldn't protest genocide so seniors can enjoy their graduation. The same seniors that you motherfuckers are trying to lock up and send to prison. This is this is coming from the anchor. He hasn't even brought on the fascist guest yet. This is a CNN anchor saying the craziest shit that we heard on the channel. Anyway, let's continue.
Back then, there were no traditional commencement exercises on account of COVID. So first an act of God and now an act of cowardice is robbing them of graduation. At USC, the administration first capitulated to complaints about the controversial view.
According to CNN, it's not the government funding a genocide and their institutions sicking the police states on students who resist that genocide. It's not the government fault for destabilizing our society. It's the people protesting the government. Literally, fascist ideology being broadcasted on CNN.
Views of its valedictorian and then compounded its error by canceling other main stage commencement speakers, including director John Chu and tennis legend Billie Jean King, before canceling the main commencement altogether. I'm also suspect as to whether this is completely organic. This week on CNN, I saw an interview with a self-described 66-year-old gentleman who was drawn to the campus.
This is a good day to go to jail, as Martin Luther King said. I can't believe they're going to start locking up senior citizens. I'm 66, and somebody had to come and support these young people. They're not alone. That's why I'm here.
How many more of the protesters are not active students?
You realize what you just heard here over the course of the last 30 seconds is crazier than anything you ever hear on Alex Jones. So once again, there is no exception in the First Amendment for people who are not college students on campus. What he is saying is you can't protest genocide on a campus unless you're a student. We can't show solidarity with them. So he sees an older black gentleman who is standing in solidarity with young people, and his first reaction is to smear him as someone who is actual turfed. Because remember, that way he said, "Oh man, I think this whole protest are not organic." So what are you implying, sir? Are you implying that this older black gentleman is a traitor to our country, work on behalf of Hamas or Iran? Say it with your chest. What are you saying? Guys, this is being aired on CNN, where they're taking average Americans and they're smearing them, saying, "Hey, I don't know, man. I think, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna be there. I don't know if you're organized, but I'm definitely gonna be there at the KU event on Tuesday. I'll tell you guys, I'm taking a risk because my tags are bad, but I'm definitely gonna be there." They're now smearing Americans as traitors to their country and as psyops because they're joining genocide with their brothers and sisters. I don't know if I'm overhyping this part, but I really want to play it again because this is the part where my jaw was on the floor this whole segment while I was watching the first time, as you guys see here. Now, I already seen this segment. I'm still freaking out watching it. You know, like this is my second viewing of this. It's still as crazy the first time. So he's with no evidence whatsoever. So guys, we showed you guys the video evidence of Israel astroturfing and paying people to show up at Israeli protests. Is CNN going to cover that? You know the thing that have video evidence where I show you Marshall from Breaking Points, where he said he took $50,000 to be pro-Israeli demonstrators and chaos agents. So that's real. And there's evidence of that. But CNN is not going to cover that. What they're going to do is float an unfounded conspiracy theory about the college campuses being astroturfed by some strange enemy that he won't name. So I'm gonna play this part again. I'm gonna let it play as much as I handle. This is a tough segment, guys. But let's listen to that part again. This is probably one of the craziest parts of it.
And compounded its error by canceling other main stage commencement speakers, including director John Chu and tennis legend Billie Jean King, before canceling the main commencement altogether. I'm also suspect as to whether this is completely organic. This week on CNN, I saw an interview with a self-described 66-year-old gentleman who was drawn to the campus.
This is a good day to go to jail, as Martin Luther King said. I can't believe they're going to start locking up senior citizens. I'm 66.
That's a great point. This is an ordinary guy that's saying, I can't believe our government is locking up senior citizens for opposing genocide. I would say ordinary, but he's not. This is a spectacular gentleman. This is a spectacular gentleman that we're watching here. A great fucking guy. And randomly, the CNN anchor smears him as someone who's an actual turf agent of some sort of nefarious organization with no evidence. This is being broadcasted on CNN. People have no idea how crazy our country has become. Yeah, I see the comments. I love your guys' comments. The chat's going so fucking fast. What a comment. I just missed it. Jesus Christ, the chat's going fast. Base boomer. God damn it. See, look, the chat. We popping today. How many viewers I got? Oh, Jesus Christ. We got 2,000 viewers. Cross line. Let's go. Let's go. I haven't checked the viewer count in a while. Let's go. What's the comment? Man, damn, I can't even find the comment. Someone was like, Giga Chad Boomer. Damn, these comments are going too fast today. Base grandpa. This man looked 25. Yeah, that what happens, bro. When you fight for justice, bro. Giga base man. Was that it? He's a base boomer. I love our community here. I'm sorry I can't read comments like I used to, but you guys see the chat's fucking crazy. Let me continue this. This is gonna be one of those streams. I absolutely did not plan a long stream today, but man.
And somebody had to come and support these young people.
No, I want to play his. This guy is base as hell, bro. I didn't respect this man's. I was so in shambles when I first saw this segment. I didn't realize how base this guy actually was. I was still recovering from what I was hearing. So actually, I want to play his whole statements again, and then the corporate anchor smears them.
They go to jail, as Martin Luther King said. I can't believe they're gonna start locking up senior citizens.
This motherfucker quoted Martin Luther King Jr. He quoted Martin Luther King Jr. And then the first response to CNN was to call him some sort of nefarious astroturf agent of chaos.
66, and somebody had to come and support these young people. They're not alone. That's why I'm here.
How many more of the protesters are not active students? Consider this. In its spring 2024 survey of voters aged 18 to 29, the Harvard Kennedy School Institute of Politics found that the Israel-Hamas conflict ranked way down on the list of issues of primary concern to young voters. The top 5 most important to this age group: inflation, healthcare, housing, gun violence, and jobs. Israel-Palestine ranked 15 out of 16. By the way, it beat out just student debt. I don't underestimate the significance of the situation in Gaza, especially where famine is a real risk. Netanyahu seems intent on moving into Rafah. And NBC is now reporting that an investigation into 7 deadly airstrikes has found that Palestinians were killed in areas of southern Gaza that the Israeli military had explicitly designated as safe zones. Still, it's curious that there was no similar campus activism on abortion rights, the Russian invasion of Ukraine, or threats to democracy.
Are you fucking serious? You guys are really this dumb. Now you guys see why I became a little bit more arrogant over the last few months? Because I came to the realization a while ago, with the whole cornball election of all thing. You guys know, if you watch Nigga Night, I declared war on the professional managerial class because I went on an unhinged rant. I told you guys, these motherfuckers don't got shit on us. For a very long time, the working class thought the ruling class, these CNN anchors, they thought they was there because they're smart. I told you guys, I am a college dropout, and I am so much smarter than these people. Are you seriously putting out there that you don't understand why students are protesting a genocide? Are you seriously perplexed about that? Are the people who think that this is serious news, do you guys seriously think this is what's got you? Do you guys really think that was got you? The whole thing, oh man, young people say they care about all these other issues. Why are they in the streets? I don't know, maybe because genocide tops all those motherfucking issues? Maybe these people was sleeping on Israel-Palestine until a whole ass motherfucking genocide happened? Have you ever considered that? You really thought that was got you? You just reported on this. He just reported on an Israeli war crime. He just explained how our taxpayer money is going to the Israeli army that is executing Palestinians in safe zones. You just said that, sir, and you don't understand why people will be upset at that? Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm going to pop a blood vessel this stream. I'm about to lose my damn voice, bro. Realizing you live in a completely batshit crazy society, people think these people are smart. Like, it's unbelievable. Mediaite rate CNN as more reliable than us. They think the mainstream dominant ideology in America, well, I'll say among the ruling class, is that CNN legit, NPR legit. This is fucking clown shit. There's a reason why they wouldn't invite these people. They would never invite me on CNN. You saw what happened when they invited me on The Hill. When Destiny tried to debate me. You got to know that people have been tagging me in Piers Morgan tweets, because you guys know Hassan Piker went viral for blowing their people's mind. Can you imagine if I went on Piers fucking Morgan? There's a reason why I'm on the blacklist and Hassan Piker is not. These people are fucking moronic, and I can destroy their talking points in my sleep. And I want our movement to understand this. The professional managerial class, the ruling class, they are not smarter than us. The people who have degrees, and it's something that I can't believe I fell for this in my lifetime. Where it is like, even when I started as a citizen journalist, there was like this shock and awe over people. Oh, this guy, he has a master's in this issue. Oh, this person, he's an expert in this field. They're the shit we fall for. Guys, it took me 3 years of being a citizen journalist to realize that all the other motherfuckers are dumb. Guys, I am not smart. There is nothing uniquely smart about me. I do not believe that I'm uniquely intelligent. I'm just surrounded by a bunch of dumb motherfuckers. We're surrounded, and our enemy is dumb. I am not smart. I'm the tall person in a midget pool. You know what I mean? I wasn't good at like the scholarly shit. You know what I mean? I took calculus 3 in college. I was like, what the fuck is this? They were showing me symbols. I was like, what the fuck do these symbols mean? Can you keep the letters? Bro, I flunked out college calculus 3. I was like, dude, fuck this shit, bro. So that's what they mastered, the bookworm shit, but they can't actually think. They got no fucking common sense. I promise you guys, every single everyone I see in the comments that leave these base chats, just the average person in RBN is way smarter than the professional managerial class. And I realize the professional managerial class people, they just good at bookworm shit. They're good at math and math and science. But they're so dumb, they run this propaganda thinking that it's tricking people. And now I'm literally going through this right now where I'm like, bro, like Noam Chomsky said when he wrote Manufactured Consent, they only hire people who will go along with the narrative. I really think they're this dumb, man. Like, after being through this, in this space for 3 years, after being right about everything and debating the Bernie Sanders left who was wrong about everything, after watching Dr. Cornel West get Alexei Navalny wrong, now it came out that Russia didn't have nothing to do with killing them. You had the Breonna Joy Gray that repeated that uncritically. You had all these professional managerial class people repeating propaganda uncritically that we see through on RBN, and we are college dropouts. Rome will openly tell you. He's like, yeah, I'm a high school dropout. We are just average people of the proletariat, and we see through stuff that the establishment can't see. So I realized that, man, I don't even think that we're uniquely talented. I come to the conclusion that the ruling class is literally ran by a bunch of fucking morons. And they are fucking weak, and they are so ready and ripe for revolution. And you can make the argument that the previous evil rulers of our empire were intelligent, they did the research, they know how to manage the empire. That is absolutely not what we have right now. We have a ruling class that is more ripe for revolution than we ever had before, because they can't even do good propaganda no more. I can have my brothers listen to the shit in the background. They're like, this shit is ridiculous. They don't study politics like I do. My family, I tell you guys, my family is apolitical. They see the shit on covers. They're like, yeah, this shit's absurd. You don't need a fucking degree to see how absurd this is. But meanwhile, the people with master degrees, the professional managerial class, they be watching CNN like, yeah, this is great news. Isn't it great that we get free press in America? It's the Dr. Cornel West of the world that fall for the Alexei Navalny propaganda. It's the Bernie Sanders. It's the Marianne Williamsons. It's the professional managerial class that people uphold as leaders who are way dumber than us. And this is something that people are not talking about. And this is like something I just now realized. I don't know why it took me so long to realize this. That's why remember that whole bit about me revoking doctorate degrees? That bit I came up with because I'm like, man, these motherfuckers don't deserve it. Like, guys, I legitimately don't view doctorate degrees. I don't view none of that shit with any prestige anymore. Oh, I guess you're good at math and science, but especially if you got a political science degree, bro, you got a degree in African studies, bro. That shit doesn't mean nothing. You got a ton of black liberals who got masters in African studies. If you got a degree in social sciences, if you got a master, if you have a doctor in social science, you might as well throw that fucking diploma away. I will acknowledge that if you like major calculus, if you got a master's in math, I guess that's legit. If you're fucking good at geometry and shit, I guess engineer, I guess those are legit. But social sciences, throw that shit away. I really believe that. Unless you got a master's and doctorate in fucking some STEM ass shit, that shit is useless. That's how I feel now. But anyway, completely unrelated rant. I'm gonna just play from here. At this point, this segment is completely off the rails. So I want you guys to see the segment, because believe it or not, we only halfway in the segment, and you guys didn't even see the craziest motherfucker. Maybe the anchor is way crazier than I gave him credit for the first time watching this. Because you guys realize the only person that we've been watching thus far was the CNN anchor. The guest he brings on is the guy who just outright advocates for fascism, which I guess the CNN host does too. But the guest he brings on later is the guy who says that faculty members, instructors should be fired for engaging in their free speech rights and showing solidarity with students. So I want you guys to see that. So I promise to God, on my integrity, on my whole ass integrity, I'm not going to interrupt it no more, because I really am running out of time.
Into 7 deadly airstrikes has found that Palestinians were killed in areas of southern Gaza that the Israeli military had explicitly designated as safe zones. Still, it's curious that there was no similar campus activism on abortion rights, the Russian invasion of Ukraine, or threats to democracy. Even if the current situation is the result of astroturfing, those protesting have a right to be heard, but not a right to interrupt and overtake the ability of their classmates to complete their term and don their cap and gown. My next guest teaches at one of the campuses affected by the tumult at New York University, where protests, including intimidating chants and several anti-Semitic incidents, NYU called in the NYPD for help. Scott Galloway joins me now. He's a professor of marketing at NYU Stern School of Business, host of the Professor G and Pivot podcasts, and author of multiple best-selling books. His newest, already a bestseller, it's terrific, I've read it, The Algebra of Wealth, a simple formula for financial security. Scott, I'll ask you about the book in a moment, but first, should USC have canceled its main graduation?
Good to be with you, Michael. Yeah, logistically, I think they have to ensure the safety, and it felt like things were getting kind of spinning out of control. So I empathize with university leadership that's trying to thread the needle between free speech while at the same time maintaining a safe environment for its students. I would argue, though, that the balance is a bit skewed. I think universities have slowly but surely decided that they're more from centers of excellence to institutions that create a political orthodoxy or are charged with social engineering. And what you have here, in my opinion, is a bit of a double standard, Michael. I think the vast majority of the protests are peaceful protests. You know, they're 19. I cut a wide berth for young people and their rights to say things. But, you know, the analogy I use, Michael, is if I went down to the plaza at NYU in a white hood and started saying Dylan Roof, the gentleman, the young man who killed 7 people at a black church in Charleston, and I started saying globalize Dylan and held up a sign that said, you know, lynch the blacks, for example, or some sort of hate speech like that. I don't think there'd be a lot of nuance or context needed. I think I would never work in academia again. And if I started inciting the type of behavior where there was harassment of any special interest group, I believe that if it got out of control the way it has in some of these campuses, I think they'd call in the National Guard. And I think what a lot of Jews are concerned with is that it seems like free speech is never freer when it's hate speech directed at Jews. So I would argue the campus leadership has erred on the side of, quite frankly, being a little too lenient to individuals who, for whatever reason, correctly or incorrectly, it devolves into emotion that makes people feel unsafe. The bottom line is, Michael, a lot of us just don't understand that a young Jewish girl leaving the library to go get a manicure is somehow their mortal enemy. I think young people, quite frankly, picked the wrong enemy here, and it's just gotten a little bit out of control.
So you heard, or perhaps you watched the film footage that we...
I'll let these people speak, but you guys, holy shit. So for one, he tied people opposing genocide with, didn't use Dylan Roof in mass shooting. He tied protesting genocide with white supremacy and the KKK, which is, that alone is crazy to say. Then he went to say, he straight up makes up the fucking claim that Jewish women are unsafe at these protests despite all the evidence. So he just outright fucking lies. Like, yo, these people need to understand that they made the wrong enemy. The Jewish girl walking down the hallway is not your enemy. No one is going after random Jewish people. Nobody. It just outright lie. Unbelievable. How he just said that these pro-Palestinian protesters is targeting Jewish people with no evidence. Where's the victims? Show me the bodies. The story they ran with for weeks was the story about some person being poked in the eye with a Palestinian flag. And then the footage came out and it turned out to be completely fake. Like, it absolutely did not happen. Like, the flag brushed them. Nowhere near the eye. So if you guys have all this evidence of Jewish people being harassed on campus, show us your work. All right, 2 minutes left. I just want to chime in after that unhinged commentary. So this is the last part, so I won't interrupt until the video ends. On my integrity. Let's continue.
He showed the map of the country where the growth of these protests has now exploded across the U.S. and perhaps worldwide. What accounts for it, and do you believe it to be completely organic?
Well, there's some strange things. I went to the NYU protest. 40% of the tents were the same tents at Columbia. So there's something very coordinated going on. I think it's a variety of few things. One, I think that a lot of students incorrectly, in my view, conflate what's going on in Gaza with the civil rights movement. Two, we have not done a great job, or we in colleges have created this oppressor and oppressed orthodoxy. And the easiest way to identify an oppressor in the minds of many of these young people is how white and how rich you are. And ground zero, correctly or incorrectly, for whiteness and richness is Israel and Jews. Also, just to be fair, Israel has not draped itself in glory. Netanyahu has struck some deals with the far right, including very bigoted members of the Knesset over settlements. We've gone we've seen Israel go from kind of the David to the Goliath. So the atmospherics are not good here. And then finally, I think there's something bigger going on, Michael. I think that you have young people who are enraged by the lack of opportunity that they're presented with. I think that protesting is kind of the new, if you will, sex. Young people aren't having as much sex. I know how ridiculous that sounds, but for the species to survive, you have to have young people connecting in terms of romantic opportunities. And also for the species to survive, you get a dope a hit from gathering together and fighting off a perceived enemy. And I think they're erring on the latter, if you will. I think they're on the hunt for what I'd call a fake mortal enemy. And the reality is, if you type in to Google anti-Semitism and pick any century in the last 3,000 years, you're going to find multiple instances where the world decides that Jews are the mortal enemy. And then finally, and I know this sounds paranoid, but it doesn't mean I'm wrong, the frame through which they view the world is oftentimes or predominantly TikTok. And on TikTok, Michael, there are 52 pro-Hamas videos for every one pro-Israel video. So the frame through which they see the world is, in my opinion, being influenced to sow division and chaos within America and divide young from old. 80% of people our age support Israel. It's 20% of people under the age of 25. Something's going on here.
That wasn't Newsmax, my friends. That wasn't Fox News. That wasn't Tucker Carlson. You know, all the people that remember the comedian at the White House Correspondents said, "Oh, they're the bad ones. We're the good media. The CNN, we're the good media." Do you guys think I was hyping this segment up too much earlier? Now, apparently, the only reason why young people care about genocide is because they're not fucking enough. All right, I think I said all I had to say. It really is unreal, isn't it? I see some of you guys sometimes. Let me read some super chats. I really do think the end of that segment speaks for itself. Plus, I already ran it way too long. I think you guys are smart enough to understand. I see the comments. Like, the comments are hilarious. Like, bruh. Like, I almost feel insulted I even had to respond intellectually to some of these claims. Like, I shouldn't even have to fucking respond, bro, to some of these damn complaints. Anyway, I'm gonna see if I can find this action at KU. Let me see if I can put this up on the screen, because I like to have something up to promote as we end the stream. Is it this one? I need to find where this protest is. Oh, let's go, bro. Let's go. I think we got some Kansas Green Party people watching this stream tonight, bro. I think, you know, because I think I just got an invite to speak at the panel at this damn event, bro. Hold up. You guys, we about to get some live news right now. I'm going through my inbox. I was live for 2 hours. It takes me like an hour to prepare my show. So we are having a panel at this KU event with Jill Stein. Oh, Jesus Christ. Let's go. Would you like to be on the panel to discuss the Gaza genocide? Hey, I already know you guys are watching. That's why you guys send this fucking message to me. You guys already know I'm down. So I was like, bro, I'm definitely going to be there. Let's go. Hold up. That's so fire. Let's go. Big shout out to Kansas Green Party. This is the event I'm talking about. So I'll leave this on the screen. This is what I'm doing Tuesday. So I'm gonna do. I guess, damn, I'm gonna be busy as hell Tuesday. So Tuesday, I'm gonna be releasing my hotspot video. I usually wake up very early to make my hotspot video because I got a lot of shit to do today. Plus, my editor needs times to work on it, so I gotta wake up early. This started at 12 to 3:30. This is gonna be based. Then maybe Nick at Night to sum up what the fuck happened, because this is Tuesday, my friends. Oh, Jesus Christ. Tuesday about to be base as hell. Oh, Jesus Christ. If you're watching this live, share with your friend, because this is going to be dope as hell. Yo, if you in KU, guys, I need someone to help stream this. I need someone to help me stream this. Hold up. Anyway, I got some brainstorming to do. Either way, this is going to be on Tuesday. This is going to be fucking dope. Sabby's going to be live in 20 minutes. Let me read some super chats. So we got some exciting times coming up. So I'm definitely going to be on this panel for sure. Thank you for the membership, Young Black Economist. Hope you guys enjoying the show, especially for all the new people who are becoming members now. YouTube suppression been kicking our ass. We do better on other platforms, but we got 775 people watching. So, sometimes if you go too hard in the paint, what I mean? If you're in the lab and you cooking, you come up with them formulas, bro. You can somehow sometimes you can break the algorithm, which I have done a few times. I broke the algorithm so bad a few weeks ago covering the Iran bomb, the Israel strike on Iran, that YouTube had to pull the video before it got 100,000 views. Got 26,000 views in 3 hours, and YouTube fucking pulled the video. I saw someone like, Nick, you need to get over it. Finally broke the algorithm, and YouTube just fucks us. But I'm just starting to break the algorithm. I guess if I yell at the mic. Anyway, thank you for $10, ARJ. Scott Galloway is a paid propagandist for the apartheid Zio state. I've heard enough of them to know their lingo. Well said. Thank you for $10, ARJ. As always, I appreciate your super chat. As always, ARJ. I see your name a lot. I don't appreciate it. Big shout out to our homie ARJ. Yeah, any super chats, any support. I guess I'm gonna take a trip to KU, and if I get some real support, shit, I go out to St. Louis. The St. Louis one's tougher because that's a 4-hour drive. I had to find a place to stay. Maybe my tag, like the St. Louis one, made me nervous. Like the KU one was already nervous, but I had to drive all the way to St. Louis with bad tags. That shit's scary to me, man. You gotta know, the police make me nervous. I'm scared of the police. I would hate to get these motherfuckers any reason to pull me over, especially if I'm going to a protest. So KU is nothing but driving 4 hours St. Louis. Man, I need to get my tags fixed. Anyway, then $5. Nick is lying. Oh, Jesus Christ. He is a smart brother who reached Calculus 3. Nick, stop downplaying your intellect. A1 seems dumb because you have to pass them. What do I even say to that? I appreciate that, man. You make me blush. Like, you literally made me blush. I was like, damn, what do I even say to that? You got to know, I dropped out of college. I went to school for programming. The programming wasn't that big of a deal. Like programming, coding. I have my brother. He makes good money now after being broke for a long time. He's a software engineer. He managed software engineer, so he makes serious money. I was good at coding, bro. All the electives that you had to take outside of coding is what fucked me up. Like when it comes to I was learning Java, I was learning C. And the programming shit was easy. Then they're you gotta take Calculus 3000 on top of your programming. You gotta take Physics 202. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know anything about no goddamn physics. I don't know anything about no goddamn calculus. We had horrible public schooling while I grew up. Bro, when I started Calculus 1, do you guys understand how much I had to catch up? I went to some underfunded, mostly Black and Latino school. And then I went to this fucking... I major community science, and then I have all these white kids who come from wealthy schools that had all these pre-calculus classes. Guys, I had no calculus classes in my school. We went into my first class, and they were like, oh, based on what you guys learned in pre-calculus, we didn't even have pre-calculus. The fuck? I had so much to catch up on. So what take me in school, you guys hearing this for the first time, I was good at the programming shit. The math and science shit fucked me up. That's why I told you guys I'm not that smart, guys. I see you guys got master degrees in physics. I'm like, bro, how do you guys pass Calculus 3? That shit was so fucking hard, bro. That shit was so fucking hard, bro. And I see people now, yeah, it's kind of not that hard. Bro, that shit was so hard for me. So when I tell you guys that I am not that smart, I mean it. I'm good at politics. I think I got good political analysis. But, bro, when I got to the upper levels of of computer science, and I started taking Calculus 3 and shit, bro, what? Anyway, I'm just talking shit now. Thank you for super chats. Thank you for the $20. ARJ, see another super chat. Show some love to ARJ in the comments. Show some love to ARJ in the comments, guys. He already leave great super chats, and not only the super chats, but you leave good comments too. So I appreciate it. Colin Force applause on the decency is why we're here tonight. Yes, he did. Guys, watch. If you want to see something that's so bad is good, because I do that sometimes. Apparently, that's why I watch the correspondent dinner. Sometimes things can be so bad it's good in a way. And his set is so bad. You know how bad your set had to be when you bootleg that much and the New York Times still roast your ass? So if you want to see something that's so bad it's good, watch the whole set because he does that all the time. Whenever he says some bootlicking shit, that's when he paused. There's nothing more important than the freedom of the press, and no one has freedom of the press like the United States. Oh, nothing? All right. That was the whole speech, guys. I promise to God. Let's move on. Thank you for $5. Chima, gun rights and free speech absolutists are too busy going after black folks and immigrants who get crumbs to actually challenge their government. Yes, sir. Woo. We had to end the stream. My voice is about to go out, so I think that super chat is powerful enough to stand on its own. I'm going to say it again. Gun rights and free speech absolutists are too busy going after black folks and immigrants to get crumbs, to actually challenge their government. The same people who are free speech absolutists, I told you guys they was a joke. I was one of the few people, and shame on all the people who spread the PSYOP campaign at the right wing for free speech. Because I told you guys, the right wing is not for free speech. They're not for gun rights. They just want to say racial slurs on social media. That was my viral tweet I put out a long time ago. A very long time ago, I told you guys that. They just want to say the N-word on Twitter without getting in trouble. That's how far their free speech goes. There's never been a point where they've been for free speech. The entire time they were doing the free speech grift, they was praising Ron DeSantis, who was literally cracking down on anti-genocide, pro-Palestinian protesters, BDS protesters. There was never a point where it was true. I know a lot of people are doing this thing now where they're like, oh man, I can't believe the right wing betrayed their... No, they didn't betray shit. At no point was they ever for free speech. Whenever people mention free speech, right wingers, I always mention Israel. Always. I'm glad people are catching up to where the tankies always been. Tell you guys, the tankies are always correct first. YouTube is censoring my true opinion. Yeah, YouTube is on some bullshit. These Ivy League students are meant to be the next leaders of the empire. Instead, they protest against the empire like this. That's a great comment. Once again, I cannot praise these class traders enough. There's literally never, at least to my knowledge, hopefully someone don't clip me for this. Don't clap me for this. There's never been a revolution without class traders. Every successful revolution required a class trader. Che was a class trader. Fidel Castro was a class trader. Class traders requires. I say you guys. I'm getting tired. Revolution requires class traders. Let's see what I missed. Oh, Jesus Christ! Big shout, my boy Landrew coming through once again. All right, so I'm definitely going to the KU. Definitely going to all these protests. We got some gas money, bro. We got some gas money. Thanks for $100, Landrew. Give some love to Landrew, some love in the chat. We got some gas money that's talking about the protests. The fascist state at work. Joe Stein arrested in St. Louis. Absolutely. Base Joe Stein as always. The pro Galloway with fancy title is a moron. George Galloway is an 8th grade high school dropout. One, the upstanding, intelligent. Yeah, absolutely. One of the most intelligent, upstanding, intelligent person to ever walk. I think I'm reading that comment right. I'm tired, so I might have read it wrong. Yeah, I have to go. After that super chat, bro. I was gonna go anyway, especially after the invite I just got. But bro, after that super chat, Landrew, I got you, bro. I got you, bro. I got you, bro. After that super chat, I definitely fucking got you. I got you. And after look, we got $50 super sticker too. I got you guys. Don't worry, I got you. I told you guys if you support RBN, I'll be able to be on the ground more. Like I live very within my means. That's how I'm able to do this professionally. But if you support me and I'm able to go on the ground, I got you guys. So with that said, you guys see I got you because I didn't go live on Saturday, and I only planned to go live an hour on Sunday. But I got you guys for a 2 hour and 20 minute stream today. So I told you guys, I got you. Banger after banger, banger after banger after banger. And then on Tuesday, we're going to have a hotspot banger. Then I'm going to go on the Green Party panel in KU. We're going to have a banger on the panel in KU. Woo! Oh, bro. I mean, Landrew, you guys about me to cry. I'm out cry. Anyway, appreciate you, Landry. I got nothing else to say. I appreciate you, brother. Banger after banger after banger. We have on Tuesday. So because I'm apparently, guys, this is literally breaking live right now because I got the message. I got the invite from the Green Party. I'm gonna be at the panel on Tuesday at Kansas at KU. So because of that, I'm gonna take tomorrow off. Hope that makes sense, right? I'll take tomorrow off. I need to prepare. I'm gonna get my mind right. I'm gonna get things ready. I'm gonna see if I can get things organized so I can get this live stream. But I don't know if I got the equipment for this. I got a lot to prepare for. So hopefully you guys. Another reason I went longer today because I was like, all right, I'm definitely gotta take tomorrow off if I'm gonna go to KU. So no live stream tomorrow. No hotspot tomorrow. I gotta prepare for Tuesday. So Tuesday's gonna be one hell of a day. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Have a good rest of your weekend. Solidarity.